Thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program at the El Paso Community College. And of course, we have great interviews for you today. And to start off, I want to introduce a visitor from California, but she's got her Tiny Explorers Center, and I guess we could call it a place where you can bring toddlers. And I think many of you grandparents probably are babysitting toddlers, and you're always trying to find places to go and things to do with those children. So we have Nora Yakota, who is here, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's the first time that you come to El Paso, or you've been here. Your parents,
My parents lived here, so I come to El Paso often.
Yeah. Tell me about Tiny Explorers and the concept and why you thought it was important to provide this kind of service for toddlers.
Tiny Explorers is really dear to me. My parents living here, we always came and visited. I have an 11-year-old now, but we have been coming since he was a baby. And for me, the challenge was really to find a place that I could take my child where he could do a little bit more than just play video games or bounce around.
Or like
I wanted
at,
to have
Chuck E. Cheese or someplace like that, right?
Yes, I wanted to have an interaction with him, but I also being at home with him, I wanted to see other parents. I wanted to have that social interaction with other parents, learn about how they dealt with their own children and hopefully gain some insights, but also giving my child the opportunity to socialize with kids his own age as well.
You know, I think that the concept of free play, allowing them to explore, I like the name Tiny Explorers, because through exploration they're learning.
Absolutely, absolutely. Through exploration they're learning. There is a social emotional connection that they further develop with their parents, but then the relationships they develop with other children, sharing, extremely important.
Yes.
That's hand-to-eye coordination, motor skills. I mean, you have an array of skills that these children are developing as they engage and play with other children.
And you have the location is in the east side. And what can people expect when they come to Tiny Explorers, to your facility?
They will expect to see a small place that for little children, it's like a tiny city for them.
Wow.
We have a variety of tiny small buildings because we cater to little ones. Our job is really to cater to those children who are not out of school age or that are still at home with the parents or their grandparents. And we wanted to be an alternative for them to be able to come and let the children explore and become who they want to become for the hours that they choose to be with us.
Like what kind of different places do you have?
Well, we actually have a small library where children can go relax, read a book, or they can play some educational games with Osmo. We have a small place that we call Band-Aids.
Okay.
And Band-Aids is where children can pretend like that they are doctors. So we have some stuffed animals that they can play on. And we have the tools that they actually are familiar with when their own parents take them to the pediatrician's office. So they get to use the stethoscopes, they get to use other things that they're already familiar with.
Not to be afraid.
Not to be afraid, because they use them.
And of course, you probably have a little kitchen.
We have a kitchen.
Area.
We have a hometown heroes, where we get children to hopefully follow the steps of, you know, the city police and the firemen. They get to dress up and just play. We have some scooters for them that they can run around. We have a small coffee shop / grocery store.
Very good.
We also have a theater, and we have great performers. I love going there and watching kids
arts.
grab the microphone and just start
Pretend
belting the
and
ABCs. Or they just love it. We have another area where it's completely open for them to put things together. We have the children that actually enjoy.
And do you have a concept like STEM?
We actually do. The activities that we run, so daily, our staff runs activities that engages the children in the learning process.
So it's almost like STEAM, because that includes the arts.
Yes, includes the arts, and children love that. Okay. The children that come often, they know what to expect, and they're the ones tapping our staff. When are we going to do the activities? So we actually engage them as well in the free play and organized learning.
Because this is a place where parents or grandparents and children, toddlers come, do the parents stay there? They don't drop off kids, right?
No,
This is
because
not a drop off.
like I mentioned earlier, we want those parents to really develop that friendship with other parents or other grandparents, to also have the opportunity for the social interaction, to walk away from everything that they have to do at home that sometimes precludes them from being able to just engage with that child. And so we are not a drop-off facility, but we want to foster that relationship and have them grow together in a different way than you would at home, away from the kitchen and the everyday things that you have to do there.
You know, and you can go to the park and play in the swings.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
then but then the zoo, or you can go to the museum, science museum, but this is kind of a concept that it's a little different. Where did this concept come as you decided to establish this Tiny Explorers?
I wanted a place in a neighborhood. I didn't want to be in a huge building. I wanted that contrived environment for them, where parents can safely take a break, sit down, and see them roam and flourish, become whoever they want to become as they explore the different areas within the center. But I wanted parents to be worry-free, because they can actually see them regardless of where they sit down. They have an eye on their children. And for me, that was important. I didn't have in mind a huge place. I just had in mind a small place where they don't have to worry if the kids make a mess.
You have staff that...
We have staff that picks up after them. But we also wanted to have a place that was clean, that offered parents a worry-free alternative. For, he can go and make a mess there, but yet we didn't want the place to be messy. And so for us, it's like giving them the opportunity to become who they want to become, to develop the skills they need to develop as they flourish and go.
Before they go to pre-kinder or kindergarten, before they go, toddlers. It's very nice. Is there something that I haven't asked that you want to convey to our viewers about your Tiny Explorers?
Yes, for us, it's just so important to just give the community a place to come. We really welcome volunteers if they want to come and play with the children. We will love for grandparents to come and bring the children there. Get out of the house, meet other grandparents that might be in a similar situation, caring for the little ones. Foster that relationship. Have a cup of coffee. We have a parent area where you can sit down and relax, and the children can actually play with other children. So we want to be that alternative, and we hope that.
Do you have a website and a phone number they can call?
Yes, we do. So our website is www.tinyexplorers, so X with an X instead of an EX.
Okay.
And our phone number is 915-300-1220.
Very, very interesting concept. It's very educational, and thank you for bringing us information for grandparents to be able to, educate our little ones.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Nora?
Yes.
We'll see you again sometime soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And we'll be back with more guests. As promised, we're going to give you some great information about Hispanic Heritage Month coming up in October, and you will probably want to participate in some way or another. UTEP is having their activities, and throughout the whole city and throughout the nation, actually, because it's Hispanic heritage is a big deal, especially in El Paso. We should be. And so we have Olga Chavez, who's here, the director of the diversity programs at the El Paso Community College. And you've brought Kathleen.
Yes.
Bamback.
Yes.
We go way back, don't we?
We do.
Here
We
at
do.
the college. Tell me what you have for us as far as events. I know you have a special guest. You got all excited, Kathleen,
I did.
when you heard that
I'm a news
John
junkie.
Quinones was
Yes.
coming. Okay.
Well, thank you. First of all, Mary, thank you for having us on your program. We're delighted to be here. We are excited again this year, as we are every year, and this is our 16th year running our programs at most of our campuses. This year we're starting as, I guess it's part of our heritage here at the college to start at Rio Grande with our kickoff. And we are having, usually at that function, as we will have this time, we have like all games and food and music and participation from our students being part of our entertainment. So we have the fun and games, if you will, with that. Although we are very excited this year because we have Telemundo going to really host us, be the MC. Carla will be our MC. And we will continue the whole day of September 15th, which is this Friday coming on.
Yes.
From there, we're going to have some read-ins, and read-ins are going to be done at all of the campuses. And really faculty like Kathleen have been in charge of putting this together. And so
she'll
she
get
might
a chance to talk a little bit about
talk
that
in a little bit in a bit. So we're going to have read-ins at all the campuses where students are involved, faculty is involved, and they show their talents.
Yes.
From there, we're going to have our main event this year and our mentors dinner, and it's going to be October 5th in the evening here at the Administrative Service Center. And we are excited, as you had mentioned, Kathleen is excited. We are all excited that we're going to have John Quinones from the television fame, What Would You Do?
Yes.
That comes out on ABC, Channel 7 on Fridays. So he has agreed to be here, part of our event, to also...
Great role model.
Great role model, and to also help us honor our mentors this year, which I do want to mention them, Linda Rivas, who's an attorney, and she is very involved with immigration law, and Dr. MD, Dr. Jose Luna, who is Chief Executive Officer, of Centro San Vicente. Okay. So we are very excited having both of them being honored, our keynote being honored, and then 2 scholarship recipients that we'll be selecting who will receive. So it's an exciting time.
And I know you have a lot of volunteers and a lot of sponsors, and we can get to that, but I know Kathleen has been very involved with students. She's one of our professors here at the college. Tell me about your involvement.
Well, on each campus, we're going to have what's called a read-in, a tradition we started 4 or 5 years ago, where students and some faculty read from their favorite authors. In this case, different Hispanic authors. Could be from Spain, could be from Latin America, any of the Spanish-speaking countries. If you look at our logo this year, you'll see that we've got the flags from all the countries where there are large numbers of Hispanics. It's a celebration of culture, of music, and it is beautiful, and our students participate. And it's
and they need to be proud of wherever they come from, their culture, their heritage, their
and
ancestors, and not to be ashamed or embarrassed.
And I teach literature, so I really, or English, and I really do enjoy the celebration of the literary giants from the Spanish language catalog, which incredible Nobel Prize winners, etc. It's a very rich literature, especially Latin American literature.
Yes.
So it's a great celebration.
And we'll show the poster while we're talking so that they can see the tree with the different flags, including the USA at the very top, and of course, John Quinones. What a treat, huh? Sponsors, do you get quite
Mary,
a bit of
we have,
sponsors?
we can't appreciate probably there, but we have, because of our sponsors, we're able to do so much. And they continue to support us, and then we get new sponsors. So yes, we have McDonald's, Channel 7, KCOS, Texas Gas, UMC, Chico's Tacos, Costco, Fred Loya. I could go on and on, Pepsi. I go on, and somebody will say, well, you didn't mention me, but I want you to know that in our posters and in all our literature, we try to acknowledge our sponsors because they've done so much. They do so much for the community in general.
Absolutely.
And everybody asks them if they'll participate, so they help us.
So what can we ask our viewers? Do you want them to call you if they want to find out more information?
Yes, I'd like to say that everything is open to the public and it's free, with the exception of the mentors dinner. Okay, so they will find it on our website, EPCC website, diversity programs website, all the information. We have a number on our poster, 831-3324, that they can ask us about any of this information. Our mentors dinners reservation and tickets can be found online or at the cashier's window of any of the campuses.
Very good. You've done a great job, and what a
Thank
great
you.
committee. I'm sure you have like 100 people maybe
Oh,
helping
I
you.
want to.
Like Kathleen?
I would be remiss if I didn't say that that's what makes our events, is that the staff that I have, a small staff that I have, and our volunteers.
Very good. Wow, well, we're just about right out of time, but I think we've covered everything. And thank you, Kathleen, for coming and supporting, and
Thank you,
for
Mary.
the
And
work
thank
that
you,
you've
Mary.
done with the
Appreciate it.
diversity programs.
Thank you,
I
Mary.
know we'll have you back because you do a lot of stuff throughout the year.
Okay, thank you so much.
And we'll be back with more mature living guests. Well, we've got another guest, and it's not a stranger. Ranger Ann is back. And so she's here with the Chamizal National Memorial to give us great information about free events that are going to be happening at the Chamizal. And they're sponsoring the Chamizal Cultural Festival again. And it's around September, October. Tell us what you're going to be doing.
Okay, before we get to the Chamizal Cultural Festival, next Wednesday we have our monthly third Wednesday of the month free program with one of my team or I. And this next month on the 20th, Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we'll be showing the film, The San Patricios, the tragic story of the St. Patrick's Battalion. Wow. It's a documentary done by a man named Mark Day, and we have purchased the showing rights. And this is a free program, so the question for this month that Chamizal asks, where do your loyalties lie? Wow. So something to ponder, and that will be the focus of the discussion following that film on Wednesday, September 20th at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
In our theater.
In the evening, in the theater, and that was
In
my
our
next
theater.
question. In the
Yes.
theater, because of the Q&A, question and answer, and that's going to be interesting to answer that question, to ponder it after you see this documentary.
Right, and hopefully people will start thinking about that before. But again, the focus will be on the San Patricios Battalion.
Wow. I'm going to have to go to that because you've really opened up my curiosity, you know, and curiosity killed the cat, right? So
Yes, but we're not in killing animals.
No, that's right.
But we do want people to be intrigued and to come with an open mind and have the brain cells firing away on that.
This is great for El Paso. You need to challenge us like that. Yeah.
Well, it's not meant to be a challenge in that sense. But
Oh, tell me what's going to be happening in October.
okay, October, your previous guests were talking about kicking off Hispanic Heritage Month this Friday. Then we're going to end Hispanic Heritage Month with the Chamizal Cultural Festival this year.
Yes.
We'll open the festival on Friday morning for the education portion of the festival. We've invited Eden Enterprises to again perform their original production that they created for us that actually talks about the history of the Chamizal issue and its diplomatic successful resolution.
And it's this Friday, October 13th.
Right, and
Okay.
that's for middle school students that we're inviting.
Do you
to
get
that.
a good crowd, or do you need to get those kids
We
in
need to
there?
get the words out,
Okay.
but we are inviting the middle schools in the area around the city.
Very good.
And then Friday evening starts a co-sponsored 3-day film festival. We're co-sponsoring that with the Mexican consulate here in El Paso. So Friday night we'll kick off the film festival portion of the cultural festival with a 7 o'clock screening screening, sorry, no screaming.
No screaming at the
No
screening.
screaming, just screening. Although considering the film festival for those 3 days focuses on women in film of the Mexican Revolution. So there may be some screaming,
yes.
viva.
Wow.
So Friday evening at 7 o'clock, again, free. We will show the first of the 3, La Negra Angustias. La Negra Angustias. So 7 o'clock, Friday, October 13th.
How long are these?
They vary roughly about an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes, each of these 3 films in the festival.
Good.
And we'll be bringing a specialist, a professor from Mexico City, who will also introduce the festival and chair the Q&A discussion afterwards.
Well, we want a big crowd there.
Yes,
This
we
is
do.
A good welcome for that professor.
So day 2, October 14th, the Saturday in the afternoon from 1:30 to 6, we'll have information booths, special ranger programs, cultural demonstrations from a variety of community partners to help showcase the many cultures of the borderlands here, which is, as you know, why the memorial was established.
That's it.
So Saturday evening at 6 o'clock, right when we close down the information booths, will be the second film of 3, La Soldadera. And that will start at 6 o'clock on Saturday, October 14th. And then the third film that's sponsored by the consulate as part of this 3-day festival, as part of Chamizal Cultural Festival, October 13th through 15th. On Sunday afternoon, there'll be a matinee at 2 o'clock.
Seniors love those matinees.
Yes. La Generala,
La Generala, yes, the general.
the female general.
The female general.
Yes. So 3 days of film festival co-sponsored by the Mexican consulate and the National Park Service here.
Good
and
partnership.
as part of Hispanic Heritage Month and also an anchor point for this year's Chamizal Cultural Festival.
Wow. We have a couple of minutes left. I know that you want to
Yay.
mention some other stuff. Yeah, we got through that whole list of films and inviting people, and it's free.
Everything is free at the memorial.
Yes.
And that is part of what we offer as the National Park Service and part of what all of our tax dollars help to pay for.
Well, you and your staff do a great job, and everybody over there, the rangers, and I like that Ranger Ann thing, you know.
That's how all the kids have known me for years.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Any last message you'd like to
Please
convey?
come see us here at Chamizal National Memorial, El Paso's National Park, where history and culture come to life. We'd love to see you.
And you have a website and a
We
phone
do.
number that in case.
Yes, and we will update the cultural festival schedule as well as everything else. So we have a calendar section on our webpage, which is www.nps for National Park Service.gov/Chamizal.
Very good.
And then you can see the drop-down menus for the latest and greatest information.
And the phone number, one last thing.
915-532-7273 is our main phone number. If you have specific questions about programming coming up, that would be extension 126, which will get you the Visitor Center information desk in the Cultural Center.
Thank you so much for bringing us this great information. And you all be sure and call or check the website and be there. We need a lot of people to be filling up that Chamizal Theater.
That's right. And also, most of the booths will be out on the grounds on Saturday for the public festival. So come on and see us.
Great. We'll be back just a second. Before we leave you today, I wanted to introduce Diego Vasquez, who is with the El Paso Mission Trail Association. Tell us about your coming event.
We have an event coming up on October 7th. It'll be out in Socorro at La Cueva Theater. That's 10180 Socorro Road. And it's going to have some Spanish dances, some Spanish arias, stuff from the period that Oñate came into the area. So it's tied into our main event.
And what do you expect? A big audience to come and celebrate? And
We have about 150 seats available, and we did sell out in February, so I encourage you, if you're interested, to get your tickets soon. You can always call Sylvia at 915-851-9997.
yes.
And that's the best way to
And we
get.
always want to thank Sylvia Barron for being so involved and telling us about these events so that we can announce them to our viewership here on Mature Living.
Yeah, Sylvia Barron is really the backbone there at MTA, so we appreciate her work a lot.
And all of you are volunteers.
That's right, and if anybody wants to come in and help us, we're always open. We always want to involve more people. We all work on a volunteer basis.
If somebody wants to call about tickets or about your association, your Mission Trail Association, where can they call?
Call 915-851-9997.
Well, thank you for volunteering and making sure that in this region, especially in the Mission Trail areas, that we celebrate. We celebrate
Very
our
important.
culture, our heritage, and thank you for doing events for this community.
Well, thank you for having us.
Well, thank you, Diego, for being with us here on Mature Living, and we expect you to come back again.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all next week.